Hey guys, welcome back to another episode over here, titled Pending, I guess. This is Damoon from the 47 BJJ Co-op. I'm the jiu-jitsu instructor over here, and we've been going through a series of me analyzing and taking a look at my own competition footage from when I was a white belt. Now we're getting closer to blue belt. So last time we took a look at a couple matches from my first no-gi tournament. I've skipped a couple matches in between. I did a tournament where I had no one to record, so the footage I have is off a tripod in the corner of the mat and got kicked around a lot and missed a lot of the matches. I've also skipped a couple of my gi tournaments where the matches took forever because these are submission only. So right now, like 5-6 minute match analysis is taking 20-30 minutes on YouTube, but I would imagine a 10 or 15 minute match might take much longer. So if you guys are interested, maybe I could do a really long form of one of those. I don't think it would be an hour long, but just to keep it manageably short for viewing purposes, I'm going to try to stick to matches that are under 7 or 8 minutes. So this tournament here is, I think, the last tournament I did as a white belt. We can look at a couple of the matches. This is my first match of the tournament. I entered the gi bracket at heavyweight. So I weighed in at 155 and everybody else in this bracket was 220 plus. I think these guys in the next couple matches are all about 240, 250. We're all white belts. I at that time like an absolute division for sub only didn't really exist, so this was the best I could do. And see how I did. All right, let's get it going. Now this opponent, if I recall, was pretty fresh. I think he'd been training for some time, but I don't think, maybe once or twice a week for some time. He wasn't with a proper coach or a team, and so give him some slack there. Right off the bat, you're seeing that I'm getting very aggressive, bringing my weight forward. Just want to say, if you're going up against someone who's much larger, and we'll see this come up in some of the other matches we take a look at heavyweight, you don't want to engage like this with someone who's bigger than you. Over here, I think I had a height advantage, so I can kind of get away with it, but when someone is much larger than you, you want to control the distance or stick with distance for a little bit, for as much as you can, and try to limit the amount of connection. So we have a lot of points of connection between us here, which means that we're going to move together, and because he's got the mass, it's easier for him to generate momentum to carry both of us. All right, just a little tug of war. And you can see here, I'm much more confident than I was in my first tournament. I really like that my feet are planted solid on the mat. I'm walking my opponent down. We talked about this in a prior match. I'm pushing him around, which tells me that I already have the advantage in the tie-up. And I'm being patient, and I'm just putting a little pressure and looking for an opening. Switching around with the inside tie. I have a collar grip. I'm looking at the legs. We're doing some grip fighting, and we just switched to an arm drag to bring him down to the mat. We can take a little bit of a better look at that there. I have the far side collar, and you're gonna see right here, I switch my grips. I won the grip battle here, and I bring my hand from the far side collar to the inside tricep here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull his elbow into this space behind me, let him come by, and I trip him with the leg here as well, which we should see. You're starting to see me pull him down and I fall. Some people like this, some people don't. And I hook with my inside leg right here, if you guys can see it. It's a little bit behind this. It's going on right here, kind of like I'm putting a hook in to take the back, and that kind of helps me ensure where he's going to fall and how to follow him. A lot of people don't like this because I'm kind of pulling him on top of me. So if I screw it up, I could be pulling half guard, but over here, it works out. So get our arm drag, come to our top position. One thing that's nice about rolling with bigger guys is they're not great about maintaining the space. So if you notice, I just immediately went for a knee slice because they're generally, especially within their hips, bringing their knees to their ribs. Not great with that flexibility. I took advantage of it immediately, just brought my knee into the space. Bringing the pressure, and I really like this actually. If you see, I'm digging for the underhook. So I didn't just shoot the knee slice. It was actually pretty impressive. I'm impressed by myself as a white belt, I would say, with this position here. Full footprint on the floor. You guys will hear me say that a lot. That means that I am based and I'm putting pressure at the same time. I'm pummeling my head on the inside here, or rather the outside. And I've waited patiently to get this underhook. The only thing, and also I have this tricep sleeve right here. I mean, these are really good grips and position to have when entering into a knee slice. Only thing I don't like is because of the way my head is forward right now, right here, I feel like my hips are too far up. They should be seated lower. So a lot of times, I think now when I would enter into this position, I'll actually sit my butt back all the way to my heel and sit all my weight onto that inside leg right there, and really just take my time and pressure through it. And as soon as I get my grips, I shoot through. I've already isolated the far arm. You can see I'm kind of pinching it a little bit with my head and my arm over here. That's going to keep him from bringing his arm over to the other side of my head. Take a knee on belly, and I go straight to mount. He gave me no resistance. I think especially when rolling with a much larger person, going to mount this early, I mean, we are currently about a minute into the match, or maybe even less. I would not mount this early. If he gives me a burst of energy, again, he's much larger than me. He's going to carry me with him easily. I had a much better chance staying on knee on belly. So we go for a hand in the collar, working a pretty high posture, working my knees up. Trying to block the hand. He's doing a good job of grip fighting here. Trying to bring my hands to the other side. And I'm really high mount right now. And you can see his hips are free to move. I'm even too high right now almost to take the back because of the way we're grip fighting right now. He could be holding my arms or he could be holding my gi. So this puts me in a pretty difficult spot where I'm overcommitted very early into the match, and he's still fresh. He's got a lot of energy. He's got a lot of fight in him. I did nothing to cook him. And as soon as I get off his hips, he's going to start, he starts turning, and I go with him. Now, you can see I grab the arm here. I'm able to turn this into an arm bar. But it's a belly down arm bar. He's already on his knees. You can already see I'm kind of inverting here. This is not, it's not a horrible spot to be in. I'm going for a submission. But this early in the match, it's pretty low percentage. And when you're rolling with someone much larger than you, it's better to ride out the control rather than to commit early to an attack. Arm's pretty straight. He does a good job of wiggling the arm. And I'm forced to recover guard. Back to open guard, scooting away, getting his weight up. And I like what I just did there. And this is something I talk about with my students today, is when we train in the gym, it's quite easily to fall into this pattern of someone sits on their butt and someone attacks passing the guard. But in reality, in a tournament or when we can stand up easily, if you are the passer and you're not putting forward pressure, we can kind of see what I did there. Here, right here, I guess here. I have my frame in front of me, my grip, and I'm kind of doing a poor technical stand-up, I guess. but he's sitting back too far. His weight's not on me. So when I stand up, I'm not carrying his weight. It's easy for me to get back up. And I'd much rather be standing with him than carrying his weight on top of me playing guard. We come back into our tie-up. At this point, I think I took him down so easily the first time. I have no problem standing up with him. I think I have a cross-collar grip here. I use a little bit of a collar drag to bring him down. And I just bully him down back into the knee slice. This time I still have my hand in the collar. The same hand that was in the collar that was standing. The hand in the collar is still there. This is dangerous because my back is exposed here. So it's great offensively, but there's a fight going on right in this area right here. Let's discuss that for a moment. All right. So what he wants to do is he wants to bring his knee. If he would start turning it this way, it would push on my hip. And if my knee right here comes inside his rib cage, I'm forced to turn my hip and my back is open. If I can keep my knee on the outside, oh, it got messy, give me 1 second here. If I can keep my knee on the outside of his rib cage right here, then as he would turn his hip, my knee would poke out and I could keep my hip open. My knee wouldn't be forced to turn with him. But I think I got my knee in the right place here. I'm pretty high, but I think I'm safe for now. But again, I'm very connected. He's holding me. He's holding my leg. He's holding my arm. If he was to give me a big burst of momentum in either direction, I don't know if I could resist or prevent him from rolling his hips in either direction. And because of the way he's holding me, I couldn't base either. So this is pretty precarious for me on top. I bring my knee to the mat. Now I'm in a better spot and I go back to mount. Again, working the cross collar choke. He's doing a great job of fighting the second hand, not letting me bring it over. And this time he goes for an upa. He's back on top. Just a little bit of figuring out what we're doing. And you can see I'm just, again, framing, technical stand-up, and getting away. I don't think I had much respect for his top pressure. He was on his knees. He wasn't putting his weight on me. So I decided to just stand up again. Take an overhook. Again, not a great idea to have that much connection against this much bigger than me, but at this point I felt him out. I wasn't too scared of him in the stand-up. So I just went for bullying him. I have a reverse Kimura grip here. Oh. I went for a toss there, but you can see I completely failed. What's supposed to happen is as I drop here, if I keep the grip, his shoulder rotation forces him over the top. But it seems like the grip broke. He fell on top of me, and I have to recover. That could have been bad. I'm laughing about it too. But I guess you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. And this is the beginning. It's funny, I don't recall playing butterfly guard very often or hooks in until later on in blue belt, but I guess I started much earlier. If you're watching and you're one of my students, I wonder how familiar some of these movements and some of these positions I'm using as a white belt still reoccur as a black belt. I know I've refined them. I know that I've gotten much better at my positioning and posture, weight distribution. But I tell my students very often that, there's a couple techniques I use and I've been using them for a long time. And it's really interesting to see that in effect looking back at it as a white belt. How much of what I learned at white belt and stuck with me, and I've just spent time refining and mastering. Mastery might not be the right. Using a knee shield here. Nowadays you'll see me use a butterfly hook rather than a knee shield, but just trying to keep his weight off me. Once I make space, I'm standing right back up. This time he grabs the leg. pretty good balance with the single. Just a little bit of a collar drag, bring him back down. I think at this point I just really want to finish. This is a much better position than mount. I like what I'm doing here. It was a very aggressive entry. And we can note some things about my posture here because I entered it so quickly. So this shin right here should be going, my shin that's knee on belly, that's going across his ribs or his midsection, it should be going horizontally across in this direction. In reality, what we're seeing is an angle. It's coming across this way. And because of that, it makes me much more off balance. You can see my hands are tied up again. We're very connected. If my opponent was to bridge hard in this direction, I don't know if I'd be able to resist if he held my hands. And we've seen that twice already in this match. It's better than when I was working from mount, but what I should be doing is my head positioning here should be on this side of the body, towards the screen. That way, I have my weight distribution all on one side, so that it makes it very difficult for him to topple me over. Let's see how it goes. I have my hand in the collar. Again, he's resisting really well, not letting me connect my hands to finish with the second hand. He's taking a lot of pressure in his abdomen and his ribs. I step over for the armbar. We have a tuck knee. We don't need to talk about the tuck knee. And I can't break the grip. Still have my hand in the collar. Switch to a Kimura grip here. Again, going for another tuck knee armbar. I sit back. This time I bring the second leg over. So the reason why I decided to do that here is probably because I had such a difficult time. Not that I maintained the position for very long, but I felt like he's so much stronger than me. I couldn't break the grip, that I needed to really control the position with both legs in order to play around with grip breaks. Again, tuck knee armbar was something I still work with today. Trying to use the leg here to open the grip. He's got a nice rear naked choke on his armbar, defending his arm. I'm trying to put pressure on his head by leaning into it. You can see in my eyes right now that I'm kind of like, what do I need to do here? I was playing with untangling his hands. He let go, misreading the situation. I'm putting on an Americana here, which strains the arm out. I wanted to notice two things right now. Look at this distance between my chest and the arm. So right now, I'm pulling his arm completely with my biceps. My core is not engaged. I should be, in an ideal world, my chest would be along the arm right here. I'd be holding his arm to my chest, and I'd be sitting back and pulling with my core. In this situation, it looks like I'm really struggling against just his one arm. And he taps there, but to be honest, I think if he had a little bit more energy, a little bit more clarity, a little bit more fight in him, I think that he could have gotten out of that. And that's the reality of rolling with someone that's much larger, is all things being equal, if my technique is off, even if I have him dead to rights in an armbar, he can beat my whole body with his arm. But after, I think this was about 5 minutes into the match, he's defended 2 arm bars. He's tired. He's gotten taken down twice. He had to deal with a maybe aggressive knee on belly over there. He just wants out. He's not thinking about defending the armbar. He's thinking about, I don't want to do this again. And I think that's the approach to beating people who are physically ahead of us, whether they're stronger than us or younger than us or larger than us or just have better cardio, if that's an issue or whatever, is you have to whittle them down. You got to wear them down. You got to take the fight out of them. You got to make them not want to be there. I think that's the lesson of this match. I give myself a pretty high score here. I'm actually impressed. I haven't watched these matches in a long time, and 3-stripe white belt. I think I'd been training at this point for maybe 10 months, maybe a little bit less than 10 months. Um, my movement looks pretty good. I think you'll see me harp on myself a little bit about the movements are too large. I think now I would prefer to make smaller movements. Uh, the quickness is okay, but smaller jumps. Smaller jumps leave less gaps, and I committed to the offense way too early here. But overall, pretty good match. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. If you guys would like me to take a look at your guys' matches, shoot me a comment or a message, and we can figure something out. Otherwise, again, this is Damoon at the 47 BJJ Co-op in Brooklyn, and we'll have a couple more of these heavyweight matches coming your way pretty soon. Take it easy. Have a good one.